Welcome to the 15th tutorial of Python programming series. So now we're going to see what is input operation in Python. So if you want to take an input, you take some input. Suppose you took some input from the screen. If you took it, then the user will have to obviously put some or type some input data that you want. Then you can process it or you can directly print it on the screen. That is, you can give it as the output. So for that, you'll have to assign some variable name to that input wherever you want to store the input data. So say you want to make attendance system, or you just you want to take some data of a class student, that is his name and roll number. So to take his name and roll number, first of all, you'll have to assign some variable to it. So suppose I'm naming the variable as name, simply the name of that student. So the name of the student will be input. Now when I write input with the parentheses and when I run this program, then Python will automatically ask the user to enter some input actually. So when the user enters some input for the name, then the input will be whatever the name that the user enters, and it will be stored in this variable called name. And similarly, actually after we'll see the roll number afterwards. First of all, let us try to print it. So when I print this name and when I run this program, see now we have to enter some name. Suppose I enter Sam as my name, so it printed out Sam as the output. That is, we entered Sam as the input, it got stored in this variable called name. Then we printed out name, that is, we printed out Sam. But before that, suppose you want to say ask the user to enter the name, so you just have to give the message, right? So you to pass the message, you just write print, and in double quotes you write anything like please enter the name or please enter your name, and with the colon and all, it's up to you. And you took the name as the input now, and afterwards try to print it. So when you print out name after that, and when you run this program, see it asks us please enter the name. So when I write my name, it printed out the name in this way. Similarly, see now we took the name. Suppose you want to take the roll number. So now ask, okay, just ask simply please enter the roll number. Okay, and now afterwards I'll have to take the roll number as input. So I'll just write whatever name you want to give to that variable. So suppose I want to give the name as roll to that variable, and I took the input, and now simply print roll and run this program. Say please enter your name. Now we have to enter a name. Now it will ask please enter the roll number. So roll number I am not writing anything. So it printed out the name as well as the roll number in this way. And you can, it's up to you, you can be more accurate and all. So suppose you want to print out the roll number. So you took the name and then you printed out the name. After that, first of all you took the name now. So you passed this message like that please enter your name. Then you took the name as the input got stored in that name, and after that you have to print out name. But I didn't print out name actually, yeah, I forgot that. So I'll just print out name. So when I run this program now, Sam, it printed out Sam, this one, and then the roll number. It printed out the roll number as well. So to be more precise, or if you want to be more interactive with the user, you can just write print, and in the double quotes you can write your name is, and after that you just give a comma, and after that name. Again the same thing with roll number, in double quotes just write your roll number is, give the colon, and then after the double quotes just give a comma and run the program now. So it asks please enter your name. I entered any name. Afterwards 25. See, your name is Sam and your roll number is 25 in this way. But we saw these all things. This is related to just the data. Now if you want to perform any operations on that data, so see how it is done. So remember, whenever you take any input in Python, whenever you write, suppose you write name, or for example you write x equals to input. Whenever you write this statement input, Python stores it as a string by default. So whenever you write when you type actually anything as the user, x will be a string. Obviously x will be a string because it is by default. X will not be an integer. See, even if you write even if you type any input as the integer and it goes stored into x, but it will still be a string. It will not be an integer. So suppose I'll tell you all how to do it. So suppose I took x and y as my input, and I wrote a variable called sum, and I write sum equals to x plus y, and then when I print out sum, what will we do is, see, I took x, suppose 3 and 5. It printed out 3, 5. That is 35. Why did it do that is, see, because 3 is a string over here. Because I didn't try, it is, by default it is a string. I told you all. After that, again 5 is a string. And when I write x plus y, that is string plus another string, then it concatenates it, because here is a plus sign and it concatenates it. It does not add them, because Python does not know that whether it is an integer or what. So it just takes it as a string and it concatenates both 3 and 5. So it gave us the output as 3, 5. But see, to take input as any integer, you just have to write int, and into the parentheses you write int input, that is integer input. So Python, whenever it takes in as any input as a string, it will convert that string into an integer, and when you print out x plus y, it will print out actual addition. So now when I write 3 plus 5, it will print out 8. Now this is the right answer. But and see, there are many other types. Now this is integer type. You can also take it as a float type. Now when you run it, okay, hold on. Okay, now when I run it, 3 plus 5, it will give the output as 8.2. Why? Because this is a float, this is a float. So the sum will be a float value. That's why I printed out 8.2. And now see, if you think, suppose you write, instead of writing any number as x, you write any string, that is you write Sam. It will give me an error. Value could not convert string into float. Obviously, suppose that there is any letter, you can't convert that letter or words into a float value or into an integer value. Okay, so I guess that's all about this video. So I'll meet you all in the next videos. They are going to be pretty interesting. Thank you.